Jackie Brown, unpopular opinion. T.I. greater than Lil Wayne. T.I. greater than
Not great. I like it better.
He got better body of works. Paper Trail, King, T.I. versus T.I.P., trap music. I mean, even Trouble Man had like one of the best Andre 3000 verses out there.
Urban Legend. Urban Legend's a crap.
Urban Legend.
It's fire.
He got some joints.
They could go album for album. They could definitely go album for album. You start stacking in them Carter series and all that, they could definitely have a debate about it.
Yeah. And T.I. does a great job of staying on topic, you know, thematically with something. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just get a bunch of great Lucy's with Wayne.
I'm going to take a pause. Yo, I mean that reminds me of this where's this at? Of the down south, the Atlanta
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, the Atlanta Mount Rushmore. I think it's like
who's on it?
They didn't have out there.
You guys see that?
Yeah,
I saw it.
So they got Andre.
I hate to disrespect Big Boy, bro. That shit is the most annoying.
That's my thing, Glasses. I don't know that you do this. You got to add a fifth. Is not to discount Andre's greatness, right? But the bulk of Andre's career is built alongside Big Boy.
Right.
It is different, and Big Boy is just as equally capable as an MC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those guys were the perfect tag team in terms of skill level. You're doing these Outkast albums, and you don't got to write 3 verses in the hook because you got Big right there. So like, I'm gonna do my verse, Big gonna do a verse right after. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like Daredevil and the Punisher. You know, on my Marvel shit. It's like, man, when I'm going back to back with that guy, like we can't lose. So I need to see Big Boy represented on Outkast put Atlanta on the map.
But who do you take off? Who'd you take off then? Or just have them split?
I'm saying it needs to be both of them or not one of them.
Yeah, if they could do a composite where it's both of their faces, they never
usually put groups into like the conversation. I seen they just did that with the top 25 women. They put like groups in for best female rappers, but they usually don't put groups in for like, you know.
All I'm saying is before Outkast, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but before Outkast, Atlanta definitely had a scene that was local, but if you look at it, it was bass music. And really that came from
Arrested Development's from Atlanta. They won best new artist.
I'm going because I got a video about this on my channel. Yeah. Arrested Development has been completely written out of hip hop history and Atlanta history and speech. And them brothers need to be like, yo, that album, when that album came out, first of all, won a Grammy, had 3 top 10 singles.
Right.
The album went gold, all in one gold. Arrested Development had fucking hits. And people don't even talk about it. Came right out of Atlanta. So then we get Chris Cross.
Before Andre, I would rather it be CeeLo if that's what they was gonna do.
I got because you can't discount you. CeeLo, he's representing. Man, Cass built that city on some hip hop shit. You know, again,
no, I'm saying if it's not Outkast, if they were gonna pick a solo act outside of like CeeLo would be a better candidate for that if they was gonna take something out of a group.
Right.
Can I ask a question? Do nobody fuck with Jeezy at all? I mean, he got misses on this. Jeezy got misses.
I mean, there's only 4, right? So who you take off?
Yeah. I don't even know.
That's the question. Who do you take off?
I feel like Jeezy is just as important as T.I. I feel like Jeezy is just as important as T.I.
And I think you got to have balance too. Like, why would we not put Ludacris on there?
Nah, because I think also we get it twisted. Mount Rushmore is not about
really the 4 best.
Who's the best? It's the founding fathers who put the shit on the map.
Exactly.
Right.
That's Outkast. If we talking about trap music, that's T.I. When nobody talking about the trap before T.I. And actually, first time we heard trap on the record was actually on the Outkast record.
It was actually Outkast on 2 different.
It was actually an Outkast record, but so it's Outkast and then T.I. You know what I'm saying?
It would look different. It would look different if you went the George Washington, the Jefferson, the Roosevelt, and the Lincoln. We did that for Def Jam, Rob, one day. And it was a lot different. Like to not have Jay-Z on the Mount Rushmore because you're really doing it based off the Mount Rushmore idea is really different. Everybody just put the 4 who they think the best rappers is.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the foundation.
then you might have to put Kilo Ali on it and Jermaine Dupri on that motherfucker. If we being real, we talking about who built it.
I was just watching Jermaine on the.
He's on the producer of Mount Rushmore. Jermaine Dupri definitely on the producer. Mount Rushmore. I don't know about rapper, but
He was writing a lot as well, though, Wayno.
huh?
He did write Chris Paul. He write Jump.
No, absolutely. But I'm talking about if you comparing him, if you're comparing JD as a rapper to said rappers, not as writers, because if we go on writers, that's a whole different conversation.
Oh no, you're right.
But
Can
just
I make
go on and just ride over Ludacris's dead body and not even like think about putting him is crazy work.
Love Ludacris, but you know what? You had cracked my foot. It goes back to what Glass has said about the street element. That is especially Atlanta rap, trap, all of that. Like that element from the late 90s to the early 2000s was everything for them. Like the trap, they that word made it around the world.
But it goes back to the convo y'all was having a little earlier about Vert, where like, all right, with these Rushmores, we got to classify what we're talking about here, you know, in the larger scope of things. Because if you're talking the trap element, yeah, there's certain faces you're supposed to see.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, who moved the ball forward? Who helped build some things? Then you get into that Goody Mob conversation, that Little John, even though he ain't a rapper, but goddamn, whether you want any song.
But that's why you got to slice it up different ways. But you know, so crazy that I read about Mount Rushmore that it was like the whole purpose of doing it was a tourist attraction.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like the way we break it down and all that is really just some shit that they wanted to build for people to come and say, hey, look at that. Like, you know what I mean?
Then they chose the president based off first expansion United States, expansion outside of the United States, and then the whatever Lincoln represented. Who would that be? Who would be the first solo?
Oh, somebody said, what about Waka? I ain't gonna lie, even though Waka is a very pivotal part of Atlanta.
You got a diamond record.
Yeah, but
bro,
you can't put not a Mount Rushmore, like then you
not Mount Rushmore.
Like, Gucci goes way before Waka because we wouldn't have no Waka without Gucci.
Who would be the George Washington of Atlanta hip hop? That's interesting.
Speech.
George Washington of Atlanta hip hop. Gucci.
Nah, Gucci.
Can I put some respect? George Washington is the one who actually won the war planting the flag. You know what I'm saying? That is
bro. Gucci, Atlanta, they love Gucci out here on another level.
That is it's a real development.
President of Atlanta hip hop.
But we saying our Bruce in the chat made a good point. MC Shy-D, you know what I'm saying? Kilo Ali, like those are the four founders of that movement in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But Shy-D, Kilo Ali, right after.
Who was the first superstar solo act from Chicago? I mean, from Atlanta hip hop.
Ludacris.
The first superstar, yeah.
Ludacris.
Probably Luda. Because Luda's the first one in movies that was rapping and all that, right?
Luda came out before Tip. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, 2000 his first album came out. But not Tip then. I'm Serious came out around that time.
I'm Serious with 29.
But he was still
I'm Serious
but Luda's definitely a superstar before Tip was.
We did it. We did this for Southern California. It was Ice-T. It was Ice-T, Ice Cube, Snoop, and Game.
Ice-T, Ice Cube, Snoop, and Game.
Yeah, that was like the Mount Rushmore based off of the actual reasons they chose presidents.
Wow. You would think Eazy would have been in the conversation just based on that there's certain people you wouldn't have got Cube necessarily without Eazy-E. You know, because if it wasn't for Cube writing Boys in the Hood.
No bueno. First off, the first person on that Mount Rushmore should be Too Short.
From New York.
Well, it's not about Pac. The first person should be Too Short. Too Short is the George Washington of all West Coast hip hop, if not Ice-T.
Blow the whistle.
People move Pac to New York when it's convenient. I swear.
It's not because Pac is more than substantial. I'm just saying he's the George Washington of West Coast hip hop. Too Short.
Yeah.
Who would be the probably the Jefferson would be Ice Cube. He took it. You know, he did the album with Bomb Squad, went coast to coast with it. Who would be the Teddy Roosevelt who expanded outside of United States of America? Who took it like, you know, outside of it? Probably
Snoop.
Probably Hammer.
Oh, Hammer.
Probably Hammer.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Hammer would be on the West Coast Mount Rushmore, though?
Yes.
I mean, if it represented with Teddy Roosevelt purchasing the Panama Canal deal, you know, that's why he was there. That's why they chose him. He represented expansion outside of the United States. So who would be the first global West Coast hip hop act that took West Coast hip hop outside?
Hammer. Listen,
Hammer had a whole
Hammer got crucified for the brand deals, having the cartoon, having the thing that rappers kill for now. The whole reason why people even start rapping so they can get all the other shit. Hammer did all of that shit first and got crucified. They called him a sellout. They made diss records. Like Hammer is one of the most important rappers in history.
Yeah,
and we need to build a statue for Hammer somewhere because everybody's eating off.
And now they doing that shit. Now they talk. Pac was talking shit. They always talking shit about Hammer.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. When I was a kid, I loved Hammer. You know what I mean? Like,
you love Hammer. What do you mean?
For real, I love Hammer when I was a kid, man. For real.
I dug in my bag and pulled out my magical shoes.
I think
the Hammer cartoon.
I think he takes too much shit because he raps like
he loves the foot before
of dudes. You know what I mean? Like hip hop, the MC had developed, right? Rakim came and just the second tier MCs, he just came and flipped the game, right? You got Rakim, Kane, G-Rap, Chris, Cube. You know, that became the second tier out of the Melly Mel and Jalil era of guys, right? And then Hammer comes rapping like Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? I think that probably...
Hammer, you know what's so crazy about Hammer? This nigga would be doing all the dance moves in the world with one face.
Yep.
Like his face didn't change. Yo. His face would be...
And
his face did not change, bro.
And he had a friend, and he had a homie named No Bones. 1 second applause, No Bones.
Oh, what? I want to go back to the Pac thing too, because I was joking when I said, I mean, he's technically from New York, but of course we don't like consider him a New York MC. But Pac was very important to New York with Juice. Like, first of all, he lived out here, and a lot of the bullshit he was getting into. I mean, he was really ingrained in what the fuck New York had going on during that era when he was shooting Juice. But just to also portray, Juice was one of, I mean, because it was Boys in the Hood first, and we saw this portrayal of what the West Coast looked like. And for those of us who were too young to travel or experience Cali, we saw that through Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? When Juice came, it was a representation of what New York was like, Harlem was like, and Pac played that role perfectly, man. Down to the T. Influenced the way people dress with the Carhartt thing, with the 40 below Timberland boots, like with the cut. Like, I don't know if they was cutting their hair like that out in LA with the Gumby joint and all of that. Day. So Pac, though he's not a New York MC, like had a lot of influence and did a lot for representing what we was doing out here in the street and the shit that was fly to us and putting that shit on the big screen.
Where y'all see E40 at?
Definitely should be part of the con.
Pioneer.
Yo, and then kept elevating it too.
And on the indie level, right? Because he was doing his shit indie, right?
Sick with it.
He was on a job. I mean, he had his own deal with Job.
With his own, with his imprint.
He had an imprint really early.
His flow is just really special and different. That just he he 40 evolved it. Like I don't like still
40 is like our dark 40. Forgive me, this is gonna sound blasphemous. 40 is our Nas. That's our guy. We're gonna go to war over. We love him. There's no slander. You know, you go to New York, Jay-Z is open field. You know it's all the love, but you get a million motherfuckers hate Jay-Z. You know, everybody else is so polarizing. Like you can get negative or positive, but Nas in New York is like, yeah, it's no way he could do wrong. That's how 40 is for us. Like we just love 40. Talking to 40 is still like a fan moment, bro. Like right now, you know what I mean? We just love him. He just our guy. Yeah. Our guy. You know what I mean? We just love that motherfucker, man.
I think what's so dope about 40 is he spanned times. Like when you talk about eras, right? Like I remember 40 having a hit record when I was in the 8th grade and having a hit record when I was in my early 20s. You know what I'm saying? It's like he spanned so much time.
He just fresh. The nigga just really hip.
Man, when he jumped on that Big Sean, leave a whole standing outside forever like the Statue of Liberty. Like, he'll bust it. God damn, like he like in every era, like he'll come with something, bro. And
I think the true testament of the greats are the people who can figure out a way to, re-galvanize their flow and find a new audience. Because maybe when E40 first came out, maybe he wasn't a palatable taste for everybody. But then Tell Me When to Go era and nope. Yep. Like he found a whole new pocket of people who had no idea who he was prior to like all that. They just knew Sprinkle Me, maybe.
Man,
You know
Crack,
what I mean?
I love that for y'all in New York, bro. I'm glad y'all finally came around, bro. It took so long.
I was still listening to everything.
I
you know
was
what
worried about y'all, genuinely, bro. That y'all was missing out on all this.
G, I'm telling you, G. We as kids, we was with it. The media wasn't with it. You know,
Word.
Culture united, our culture united, our culture united, our culture united, connecting all over the world, connecting all over the world, connecting all over the world, connecting all over the world. 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 Connecting all over the world.